Only and his guests are not responsible for any losses you may accrue from having weekends. Where the haters at? Y'all bitches still ain't showed up. And now, right, we got Hex, flawless uptime. People thought this was a joke. Now they're mad at the chart. It's lullaby music, really, right? This is Wales Only. Glad you guys can make it out. I'm making some claims that are pretty outlandish, but I can back them up. Boom. End of story. There is no other crypto out there, so don't get it twisted. If you don't understand where you're parking your money, you're gonna pay the consequences for that, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. Boom. We're obliterating everybody, literally. There is nobody else that comes close to what Hex has done. Boom. Oh, it's about to get right. The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. Yep. That's it. Yep. That's the secret. The guy well told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. These motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Yash deep, everybody. My God. Ex-Asians, bro. Everybody. Australians, man. Everybody gets it. Yo, when people told you. Dollar told you. Everybody done told you. It's crazy. What's good, homies and homettes? Hope everybody having a fantastic Sunday. Man, you know, as I sit here in what is the relative peace and quiet, you know, it really reminds me of all those periods in time where it wasn't so peaceful and quiet. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why I can't really do quiet. It's one of those weird projection things that we as humans always find ourselves doing. It's interesting. I constantly find myself testing that projection reflex that we as humans have. And I have to tell you, that motherfucker is strong. And we're going to go over it today because it's really interesting. It's an interesting exercise to see people think that they're flexing their brain, you know, but in reality, they're just flexing their emotions. And, you know, whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. People need to learn to listen and become further educated. You know, I'm literally on a soapbox here. Like, I don't understand what's complicated about that. It's my YouTube channel where I decide who gets to speak on my channel. Like, 1 + 1 is 2. So yeah, you know, it should seem like I'm on a soapbox when I'm talking because, you know, I don't have an audience that's visibly in front of me to talk to. So if you have a hard time dealing with the fact that I'm saying you and I speak in general terms and I'm not identifying anybody specific, then hey man, if the shoe fit, wears it. I really don't know what to tell you. Like, I don't fucking know you. I don't know anything about you. So, you know, if your pussy hurts, sucks to be you. Not really sure how to help you in that regard. Because at the end of the day, everybody's listening. The only people with problems are the only ones making them visible. Everybody else seems to be perfectly fine. So how about you go look in the motherfucking mirror? Yeah. And that's the interesting thing, right? Is we always find ourselves doing this monkey see, monkey do thing, right? And then at the same time, we think we're being original. We think we're doing this. We think we're doing that. We're thinking a million things. But, you know, we're just highlighting our weak links, honestly, right? If you don't understand what's being said or communicated, your best bet is to be like, what's going on? What am I missing? Right? Because when everybody else is getting it, but you're not, appreciate the super chat, brother. Hope you're doing well. You got to figure out that you're the problem. Like, you know, I don't understand why people make this social media thing so difficult. Shit, really simple. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it gives everybody a market. It gives everybody a platform. It gives everybody the ability to say what they got to say. If you don't like what somebody else has to say, fuck off. It's not rocket science. I don't understand why people think they're forced to do anything. I mean, nobody gives a fuck. I don't know. I don't know if you've noticed yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, a bunch of clowns, man. And this is gonna be an interesting stream because I only really think I'm gonna cover two items. One is gonna be that tweet I sent out yesterday that got all the Foxicans lit up. So we're gonna talk shit about them for a little bit, as we always do. And I'm gonna highlight that Nazism is about to become prevalent, and you're just not gonna realize that that's what that is. But I'm letting you know right now, that's what that is. And I tweeted about it earlier. So if you follow me on Twitter, you're probably already gonna be like, "Oh, that's what he meant," because sometimes people pretend that I write in some language that's not English. I honestly don't know, but hopefully they watch the streams or follow up. I don't know. Can't tell people what to do nowadays. Their pussies getting in, they get hurt. Panties in a bunch and all that. Nah, it goes. So, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. I think it's important for people to ascertain the fact that money is a behavioral thing because in general, society does not have a grip on money. Like, that's just a fact. That's why credit is where it's at. I don't understand why this is rocket science to people. 1+1 is 2. The use of credit and its prevalence is directly proportional to people's financial education. That's a fact, not an opinion. You don't gotta like it, but that's what it is. So, with that being said, people that do not understand what they are doing when they enter a market, i.e., when they're playing a game, if they don't understand the rules to the game, guess what happens? Take a wild guess. Motherfuckers lose because they don't know. How you gonna play baseball with football rules? How you gonna play football with basketball rules? Explain that to me. Let me know how that works. I'll wait. Because this is what we're being sold in so many ways, right? And I'm gonna highlight that as I just read the comments. Because I'm not gonna highlight none of these buffoons. I'm just gonna read the commentary and proceed to obliterate it. Because it'd be different if these individuals actually had a platform and used it such that they were educating others and obtaining any kind of freedom. But these are just individuals that think that their opinion is sufficient and that's it. That's it. The consequences, the repercussions of their comments and statements, irrelevant. What they show, irrelevant. Whatever they do, irrelevant. It's cool because that's what they feel like doing. People are out here doing what they want to do. And yo, no problem. What up, SJ? Shout out to you. Didn't want to get you hemmed up in that little clip earlier. No, I'm actually going to show that clip because I definitely want to make it the focus. It's really the focus because we got to expose the clownery, right? I mean, long story short, to get it started, let's pretend we have a cup of juice in front of us, right? And by us, I mean two people, right? If you all of a sudden throw eight more people into the mix, all of a sudden that's 10 people drinking out of that same one cup. So we've gone from two people drinking out of one cup of juice, which is already too many, to 10. You tell me how that makes any sense. How does that make sense? Because this is exactly the argument that's being made in terms of the outward projection from those within the so-called community, which is really a shanty town, as my Pulse Nation homies have so eloquently labeled it. This is accurate. I wish I would have came up with it. And maybe it's not even a shanty town, because motherfuckers definitely ain't even intense out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? They ain't cardboard houses disguised as tents. Like these motherfuckers is perpetrating a fraud and a half. And that's the problem. If you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. But don't pretend that that's what's best for everyone, because that's not what's best for everyone. What's best for everyone is the basic shit. And this is a no brainer. This is not a debatable point, right? Everybody doesn't have pulse to throw away like some people do, or fiat to throw away like some people do. So those individuals have to make smart decisions now, not later, right? And the smart decision is always a long-term decision. It's really that simple. I don't know where people presume that that's not the case, but that's the case. And at the same time, it's also important to understand that I don't see any of these individuals, again, right? We're going to highlight the ineptitude of the claims being made here by the perpetrators making the claims, right? Because, of course, I have built up my platform to allow me to say whatever the fuck I want, however the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, because I substantiate what the fuck I say. Pretty simple. I'm not out here pissing in the wind like everybody else. And this is why everybody else gets their pussy hurt when I say what I say, because them motherfuckers really just doing what they want to do and everybody else be damned. And you got to really, you know, how long can, the BS persist? It's been 2 years, right? It's already been 2 years, yo. Do you really want to keep taking the risk of not being in the game once the gate opens? Because once the gate opens, that's it. You toast. If you're not in there, you out. And that's really the simple argument. I mean, there's no debating it. That's it. Now, if the individual, and this is where I circle back to the point I was going to make a minute ago, if the individual in question, the risk taker, the person that's being advised by the general consortium of individuals that have brains to just dollar cost average and not have to think about it, stake and long term and not have to think about it. If those individuals were not streaming all the time, presenting the evidence, etc., you know, maybe these buffoons would have a leg to stand on. But let's go over the facts and evidence. The evidence is none of them motherfuckers have a YouTube channel. And then if they do, what the fuck are they really doing or talking about? How are they educating you? How? Show me the education. I don't see it. I see motherfuckers getting rugs still though. See plenty of that. I see plenty of exit liquidity setups when you're getting alerted to the news after it done pumped. Gorsh. Shout out to Paul's disciple. I mean, come on, man. how is somebody supposed to take you seriously? Impossible. Impossible. You don't even give yourself a platform to be taken seriously. So you sit the fuck down in your little tweet box, tweet away, and shut the fuck up. Because nobody cares, but you got to tweet. Nobody gives a fuck. Just like people pretend that nobody gives a fuck what Will has to say. Oh, you can pretend that all you want. You can do that. Because you're not the one having the conversations that I'm having in real life. You just live on Twitter. And that's the difference between the people that I'm talking about and people like me that create a platform for themselves so that they can relay the proper information for those that do want to educate themselves so that they can. Because ultimately, it's about the decisions you make in the peace and quiet of your own mind that are going to lead to your future. Not the gang of clowns you fucking with on Twitter. I mean, you got to be a moron to think that that's what's going to set you aside. Unless it's somebody you talking to on the phone and they directing you what to do because they're about to press go on a coin. Are you really winning? I mean, that's what you really got to ask yourself. Because ultimately, everything else is on you. I don't see anybody creating a platform to educate anybody on taking risk. Because I'm not doing that. I'm not. What I'm telling you to do is not risk taking, right? From the perspective of you putting your money in something and being damn near guaranteed to lose it, I ain't doing that. That's why I only talk about RH products. Real easy. So easy that I can literally do whatever the hell else I want. But, you know, you got this whole gaggle fuck of buffoons that are essentially creating this environment that dilutes the price pressure from going where it should go. Right? Now, that's a fact, not an opinion, because we see it. Because what happens is that people cycle in and out. They rotate in and out of coins. They buy one, they sell the other. They proceed to buy another, sell the other. Proceed to buy another, sell the one they just had, etc., so on and so on and so forth, right? This is a cycle that perpetuates itself, or that perpetuates itself on most chains, right? The ultimate question is for how long until people decide to just buy. right? And then what are they gonna buy? And then if they decide to just buy, what are they gonna sell? Because there's always those victims, just like there's always those winners. And these are things that nobody discusses. I don't see none of these Twitter clowns talking about that at all. They just talk about why you hating or whatever dumbass, unnuanced, irrelevant, not even pointed view that anybody has. Like nobody gives a fuck about your coin. Nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing. But what we are gonna call out is the duplicitousness behind what you're doing. We'll call that out. Cause yeah, people can buy whatever the fuck they want, for sure. But an informed consumer is the best consumer. Never forget that. Because at the end of the day, what's the point of pretending to offer a service that you're not providing? Because that's essentially what's going on, right? I mean, we talk about used car salesmen. I mean, if a motherfucking shilling a fucking meme coin, aka a shit coin, isn't a used car salesman, then I don't know what the fuck is. Because I don't see none of these motherfuckers building no premier products. End of discussion. They just copy pasting literally and press and deploy. So what the fuck is we talking about? What's the conversation? There is no conversation. You know, you want people to buy your shit just because you think it's cool, yo, that's fine, bro. But don't act like you're doing somebody a motherfucking favor because you're not. And we gonna let your bitch ass know. You don't gotta like it though. But don't think anybody gives a fuck about what you're doing. Because people don't. But you're gonna be exposed for doing what you're doing. If you don't like it, well, sucks to be you. Why you so mad if you're proud of it? Why even get flustered? If it's so cool and you are so in the right, why do you give a flying fuck what anybody else has to say about you and what you do? Oh, oh. You know, that's that thing that's called projection. When you start acting defensive out of nowhere just because somebody says some random shit, yeah, that's called being defensive, bro. And you see all these losers that you're gonna see, and I'm gonna start with the clip, but all these losers that can't formulate a thought, an independent thought, mind you, and just toe the line because that's what it is. When you're backing something with no purpose, no sense, no nothing, you're just towing the line. It's very simple. Because if that's the case, why not just go fucking show the dollar, bro? Like, who cares? What's the difference? A meme coin there's only one end result with a meme coin. You know, who's the next sucker that's gonna buy that shit? That's the end result. Period. That's how it starts. That's how it ends. You know, whatever you want to think in between or outside of that is your problem. Your problem does not change the facts of life and how your ineptitude will eventually lead to your demise, regardless of what you accomplish. Because if you're not doing it correctly, you will fall off the edge. That's just how it works. Don't be dissuaded by momentary gratification. Because if you didn't delay it and earn it, you are doomed to lose it. Fact, not opinion. So let me pull up this little clip here so we can set the tone. Because I think, first of all, people really misunderstood the gentleman identity blocks stance. Because I understand why he reacted like that. Very simple. How many times do I got to repeat the same shit? I mean, that's the point of view I had when I saw it. That's why I didn't even address anything he had to say. Maybe whatever he had to say is kind of irrelevant. It's the same shit everybody else is saying. He ain't saying nothing fucking fancy, nothing new. So shout out to him for towing the correct line, which is sticking to the facts, sticking to what works, sticking to what isn't full of shit, really, right? At least from that perspective. Because me and him don't see eye to eye on everything, but on this salient point, we see eye to eye on. And ultimately, that's the thing that a lot of people don't get. This is what you need to see eye to eye on with most people on, because if you don't, you're gonna get left behind, and there's no in between there, because there's a reason you have a Bitcoin and everything else. There's a reason you have a hex and then everything else. I don't know why people think that's not going to happen again. I don't know. I've been educating for years at this point to highlight the fact that that's literally not how it works. So you do what you want. You play yourself as you wish, because that's what it's about, right? However, an informed consumer is always and forever the best consumer. I'm here to educate. I'm not here to do anything else. So let me take care of some tech biz real quick. I think I gotta get another mouse because this mouse is really being annoying lately. With the dust is getting caught up in this motherfucker. I got one of them weird mouses where I don't gotta move my wrist and all that. So I guess dust in the ball, in that ball area. Anyway, I just think it's interesting how denigrating richer within the community is popularized and is okay. Creating shit coins for whatever reason is popularized and okay. Meanwhile, ignoring hex, post chain, post sex is okay. Not onboarding, okay. Shit talking RH, okay. All these things that don't actually help the ecosystem apparently are okay. Interesting. Interesting. And then apparently, if you don't agree with diverting economic power to where you don't think it should go, which is an opinion, you're a bitch, apparently. You're a bitch, which is interesting because I thought the bitches were the motherfuckers that was siding with the enemy, which is what, helps dilute the products that should succeed. Now, let me repeat that again. I thought that the bitches were the ones that sided with the enemy and did not help the products that should win succeed. Because that's what I'm seeing. I mean, it's clear as day. Fuck RH. Fuck his coins. It's about us and what the fuck we want to do because he's not streaming or whatever the fuck he apparently isn't doing. I don't know. Whatever got these motherfuckers pussy, uptight, panties in a bunch, whatever, pussy hurting, whatever it is. Because these are not men, these are not women. These are selfish, egotistical individuals that think they have a fucking clue but haven't even stepped out of their little shanty town. Hell, the only time they left the little shanty town was when they fucking got on goddamn YouTube and turned the fucking video on. How about that? These are the fucking people that think they have a floor to stand on. When in fact, the floor they're standing on isn't even their own. It's one that's given to them. Ain't that some funny ass shit? I mean, look, man, I'm all about having an opinion. Because that's what separates winners from losers, ultimately. because we're not always going to have everything we need in order to make a decision. That's exactly what I've been specializing in my entire adult life. How to operate in ambiguity. Everybody isn't built for that. In fact, 99.9% of the people fucking hate that and suck in that environment. That's why everybody wants to be told what to do. Hint, 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 hint. Also, is exactly why everybody gets offended by things that people say when they're not even talking to anybody. Just most of the time, they're talking to themselves. In fact, the most prolific speakers are talking to themselves. So it's interesting to me that what I'm discovering in the social media aspect, because I've never had this, I've been public speaking forever. I've never had this type of issue where, oh, my pussy hurt because he said you. Sounds like he's talking to me. It's funny. Uh, I've never heard this reaction anywhere outside of the internet. And we know, just in case you buffoons don't know, that this is why. Just in case you think you're fooling somebody, you're not. And for as high as I am all the time, you should be fucking depressed because it is depressing to me. Mm-hmm. Sure the fuck is. Because motherfuckers really think they be slick or something. I just don't understand what it is they think they doing, but they not doing it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Now let's get in tune with this music right here. Let's see. To share all tab. Okay. Oh. Here we go. Okay. All right. We're about to go, folks. Now, this is the only clip of this episode I've seen. So if any of my commentary is out of context, technically it ain't my fault. Just disclosing it with that. Full disclosure.
All this coins to dump and all this.
Let me know if you can hear it also. So let's do that first. Can you guys hear it? Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Stuff, then yeah. I'm sorry, but like,
cool. I'm gonna start it over. It's only 7 seconds in. It's a minute 17.
all this coins to dump and all this stuff, then yeah. I'm sorry, but like, nothing has changed. I haven't changed. I haven't changed.
Listen, if people support a coin, it's not your problem. If I support
100%, 100%, as long as they don't like go out.
So we're gonna acknowledge the simple fact that ID agrees that it's not his problem if other people like a coin. Just like I said minutes ago, nobody cares. Now let's continue.
Into all these groups and say like we're launching a coin because like ID said this, that, or the other, because Tangent think that Richard owes him something, right? Richard doesn't owe Tangent shit.
Yeah, RH doesn't owe anybody anything. I don't know what he's referring to in regards to Tangent because I don't get involved with that type of shit. But yeah, RH doesn't owe anybody anything. He delivered and he's still delivering every day. So this notion that he's gone or not present is interesting to me. Very interesting. And the most interesting part, in fact, is that it's these very characters that are trying to shame ID and not SJ. She's just sitting there quiet. Shout out to her. But it's these very same characters that continue to make this claim that builders are here to support the chain and yada, 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 that are not supporting Hex or not supporting Pulse Chain. They're just using it for their endeavors, for their benefit, for their end goals. And then they accost and harass those of us that say, hey, you're not actually supporting us, bro. You're actually just trying to vampire the system. You're just leeching. Get the fuck out of here. So what's really going on? Let's continue.
Tangent is a bitch. That's what's happening.
All I've heard from Tangent is supporting the Mexican community. I'm
Well,
sorry,
I
but
got
I
a
don't know
clip
where
that's
you've been
saying that
hanging
they
out.
launched a coin because I called him out saying that he's a bitch because
Actually, all this that you're saying just proves that you're the bitch.
And there we go. Apparently, stating the facts and deducing makes someone a bitch. Cool.
No. I'm the bitch because I decided to stake Hex for 15 fucking years, and motherfuckers that I've been like launching shitcoins in my community and say that they've been launching and they were in Hex, but they're actually launching shitcoins to take money from our community after I said I did what we were supposed to do. I was the one that did what we were supposed to do. I was earlier than all.
So, first of all, I like to state that clearly ID is not mad. His voice, his tone is elevated because he's tired of repeating the same fucking point. Because he has integrity and did what he was supposed to do, what he said he was gonna do. He's the bad guy in this scenario, which is interesting because now the other females have to get on the defensive. And look at SJ. She's like, oh shit, he got him. Let's continue.
All of them. I stayed longer than all of them. And they decided to be liquid, to dump on our heads, or be on liquid loans. We saw the accounts.
Ooh, got him. Smoked. Woo. It's funny. The first time I saw it, that wasn't even my impression. I was just like, damn, these motherfuckers are really just don't care that they just out here fleecing motherfuckers. Because you see, while they might launch a couple of coins that are good here and there, we don't know about these rugs that are happening left and right. We don't know who's actually doing those rugs. And in fact, we know that big rugs are happening all day. And then who is doing them? We don't know. But we know there's a proliferation of actors in the background pressing deploy left and right. That we do know to be a fact. Meanwhile, they divert attention away from Hex, Pulse Chain, PulseX Inc., the entire ecosystem. Hell, they'll develop their own shit ecosystem, in fact, and then claim that somebody's hating. Now, I don't know about you, but you gotta be a motherfucking retard to accept that narrative. Because clearly, once you lay out the facts, that is not what's going on. So now, I'm gonna get into a little pestilent comments that the losers are posting. First one, which doesn't even make any sense to me. RH promised me a golden yacht too, and I'm extremely upset about not receiving it yet. Now, first of all, the guy's talking about being stay for 15 years, so it looks to me like we're about 12 years away. So, trying to understand your comment and how it applies here exactly. How about you try again in about 12 years and 2 months? Or 12 years, a month, and 3 weeks. Thanks. Next loser here is calling for a bottom signal. Huh. Not entirely sure how stating the facts is a bottom signal, but cool. Interesting. Some other guy puts, why do I intentionally cultify myself like the only way to make money is in Hex? That there goes that punchline again. Meanwhile, at the start of this stream, what did I say? Nobody cares what you do with your money, but you gotta have a plan. I've always said that. Because the one thing none of these clowns are doing, the very same clown that made this statement, what I don't see him doing is making any fucking streams and telling anybody how to take fucking risk out of their bag appropriately. I just see a lot of fucking tweets. Suck a dick. Continuing on. These ladies have zero clue about the BS lying snakes in the grass of Hexaco. Yeah, that's a fact. Clearly. And I'll proceed to say it's either that or they're part of the gang and they're just playing their role. Because I put nothing past no one. I'm from fucking New York. Crackheads will fucking smile in your face and stab you as soon as you give them 5 cents. You better get your mind right. Mm-mm. Let's see. And I'm really just going to read the negative ones. I'm not going to read the positive ones because they're positive. Whatever. One that is interesting is that I will read that is positive, but it's also relatively neutral. It goes, it's crazy the difference in mindsets. Shout out to homie for not sugarcoating it either. If he hasn't figured it out, he's definitely starting to. So you see, this comment is not even, I should learn how to talk like this dude. Because while it's obvious what he's saying, it's also not obvious, right? Where people are just obviously doing what they want to do because it benefits them and that's it. And that's pretty much how it goes. Somebody tweets, I don't even know who any of these people are. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, whatever. Let's see. That's kind of a relevant comment. Yeah, somebody writes a pretty long comment and they proceed to write, it's okay to degen. And sure, it's okay to degen. Again, my problem with that comment is, it's okay, but who's helping these folks that don't really know? Because here's the thing, you can come ask somebody about DCAing, because that's basic, right? Ain't no rocket science to that shit. But we talking about taking risk here, right? Everybody is not built for that, regardless of whatever other people are doing. They're not. That's simply just what it is. That's why DCAing and not even thinking about it is the winning strategy. Because at the end of the day, you don't know. Nobody knows when things are going to take off. Nobody knows. If anybody knew, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Nobody would care. Everybody would be everywhere else doing whatever they wanted. And on X date and time, we'd just show up, click buy, and that would be the start. So why don't we stop pretending that that's what's going on for fucking 5 seconds and go fucking find some sense. Do that for 5 seconds and maybe you'll find some fucking sense and save yourself. Because I'm going to tell you what. You ain't going to get no adoption. You're going to be mad. How what the fuck you going to get? So let's see. Yeah, and it's interesting because the base argument from this crowd of clowns, excuse me, that's kind of a tongue twister there. This crowd of clowns, they persistently make this claim that people are hating on whatever they're doing. And no, that's again, nobody gives a fuck about what you're doing. The problem is that you act like Hex is a problem. You act like Pulsion is a problem. You act like you helping the ecosystem when in fact you're denigrating it, the creator, and acting like you're enhancing it just by existing. When in fact you're not doing shit. You're just actually leeching. When buying power could be going to these fucking coins. And that's simply what the facts are. You don't gotta like it. You don't gotta like it. And if the shoe fits, where is it? Wear the fuck out that motherfucker. I don't care. That's your problem, nobody else's. Because all you're gonna do is tweet about it like a little bitch. And guess what? Nobody's gonna give a fuck. That's why I don't even have to show your replies, because nobody cares. I'm gonna just sit here and talk shit about it. Because that's what's funny. That's where the value is. Not in what you have to say. And that's what you choose not to understand. You don't want to give yourself any value? Well, guess what? You get treated with none. 1 + 1 = 2 everywhere except in your world. So maybe you should figure that out. We'll continue. So I stated, going back to the tweet, let me know what you think. Seems to me that it's okay for people to scam Hexicans as long as they're Foxicans. That's what I'm hearing here. And that's the argument that's being made by anybody that's getting any type of hate from this group of clowns. You know, this crowd of clowns that we're talking about. Crowd of clowns. So my claim is it's okay for motherfuckers to embellish themselves in gold and emeralds and rubies and pearls while everybody else gotta eat shit. That's the claim that's being made here by me. You know, I gotta take a little break just to say, I don't know how the hell I'm gonna leave New York because of food. Woo! Man, this has been a good weekend for food. That's all I'm gonna say. So the claim is, just to circle back, it's okay for people to hate on Hex, hate on RH, and not support the ecosystem while they do what they want to do to benefit themselves. Which, hey, if you want to make money, man, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no hate. However, if you're going to hate on us, you know we're going to teabag you, right? Because that's what's happening right now. So we're going to carry on. So the counterclaim is, I didn't hear that from that clip at all. Sounds like he thinks people are buying other coins. Let me rephrase. Sounds like he thinks people buying other coins is quote unquote stealing because people create other opportunities rather than 4x5 stakes like he does, which in fact, nobody creates any 5 stakes except for the person that decides the stake for the max. So let's clear that out, right? Because nobody is forcing anybody to stake for the max. The simple fact is that if you're going to buy a coin and make money, it should be for a lot of X's because that's the higher probable guaranteed outcome to provide success, especially 2 years into a fucking bear market. Like, what are we even talking about? We talking about 5, 10 X's? Maybe 100X? If you get lucky? What? Really? That's what we talking about? 100X's? Like people out here acting like risking thousands of X's is worth 100X? What? Do you even hear yourself on a motherfucking Sunday, son? Wake the fuck up, man. Bunch of fucking morons out here, B. It's crazy. It's crazy. The motherfucker finishes off by saying, just sounds like he's bitter that he's down while others are up. How you know this man doesn't have a whole fucking side bag? Because that's not what he's talking about. Damn, some motherfuckers just can't be helped. Woo. Morons. Somebody writes, I'm gonna buy whatever the fuck I want and not give a fuck what anyone else buys. And yeah, you can do whatever you want. That's not the point. The point is, motherfuckers out here pretending that they're helping when they're not. They're not shilling Hex. They're not shilling Pulse Chain. They're shilling their shit. Period. That's why they're not talking about Hex, Pulse Chain, Pulse X. Shit ain't complicated. Not rocket science. We just gonna highlight it to get it on record. Because this tweet is a perfect example of the projection and the bullshit that humans do when they want to gratiate and satisfy themselves and not do the right thing. It reflects a lack of integrity, a lack of character. Motherfuckers not to associate yourself with. Plain and simple. It gives you the fucking facts of life. And it's just a simple tweet. I didn't even have to do anything. I mean, I must have typed like 60 characters maybe. You know what I'm saying? And mad information just from a tweet. about a ton of people I don't even know because they project. And now I know more about them than they know about me. Because people presume that they know shit when they, in fact, don't know what another person is doing. But when they emotionally react to something and it's obvious, like writing paragraphs on Twitter and books on Twitter, hilarious shit, by the way. I mean, unless it's a fucking technical thread or educational thread, it's emotional, folks. Period. In case your dumbass ain't know. You're welcome, motherfucker. Moving on. Let's see here. Yeah, here's a comment. Damn, he's angry. I just got motherfucking rugged on Hart's farm, but I'm not that crazy. I don't even know what that is. Whatever he got rugged on, never heard of it. And as I stopped by showing in the video, dude was not even amped up. His tone was elevated, 100% sure. And that was about it. So moving on. Yeah, here's another comment. The claim that people aren't free to do what they want because he staked 15 years. No, that's not the problem. The problem is that they lied. Not sure was I mean, why did the price make a top? Because motherfuckers weren't staked. They sold. Like, I don't know if people are like super retarded or what, but in order for price to go down and only down, that means there's more selling than buying happening all the time, no matter how much buying is happening. I don't know why this is like rocket science. The price isn't going down because of the code. The price isn't going down because Hex did anything different. Everything about Hex is the same. So if you don't comprehend that the price is going down because people are selling it down, you are a part of the problem. Because your claims, your commentary, your stance is just all wrong. You just don't even know what you're saying. You're just a stupid ass. And there's no other way to phrase it. How can you be helped? You don't even know what causes the market to go up and down. Who are you to talk? You a joke. Yo, whatever you say doesn't matter, man. It's comical. It's comical. Wow. Super funny. Let's see here. Funny comment. Yeah, another weird comment. So, and again, this is just, I don't know if people are stupid or like this is just what they need to be doing. Like, I don't know. But here's a comment. He's big mad because everyone didn't stake 5555, which of course is not what he said. What he said is everybody said they were staking and they didn't. And thank you, Carl, for the $5, bro. Oh, I'm actually smoking sour D tonight, man. So salute to all my New York homies. Y'all already know what time it is. I forgot to announce that at the stream. Yo, I found a lick of sour D. So I'm stocked for like a whole week. I'm be crushing sour D all week. It's gonna be lit. Anyway, so again, dude didn't say he's mad because he's staked and everybody else isn't. He's mad because they dumped on everybody's head because that's who made the top. If you have not figured it out yet, the people that were liquid were the ones that made the top because you have to sell Hex in order for the price to go down. It doesn't just magically hop on an elevator and go down for 2 years. People have to press the sell button. Like, let me help you hear that noise. Hold on. You heard that clicking in the background, right? You hear that, right? That clickety click click click. That's how prices go up and down. It doesn't just happen because the code is on. No. There has to be market activity. So you see, Even if the price goes up to 10, 12 cents like it did back in the summer, it doesn't matter because here's going to come a gang of schmucks that are going to sell it down. And what's interesting is that for the longest time, I would make that comment like, there's got to be nefarious sellers in this bitch because the price action just don't make no sense. It never did. And here we are, 2 years into the bear market. I think it's pretty obvious that that statement was kind of accurate. Now, as far as what evidence do I have to support this claim? Shit. Are you kidding me? If you can't connect these dots, then fuck, don't even get a pepperoni pizza because there's no helping your fucking ass. Word up. Like, just don't bother. You got people that shit talk RH, create new coins, claim to be helping the chain by enhancing the ecosystem by, in fact, not shilling the ecosystem, but shilling their coin, thereby diluting economic power and where it could go by creating more confusion in the marketplace, by creating a more uninformed consumer by lying. Because they've been lying. So they created this fake air of confidence that underpins whatever they claim or say because they've been around since Hex, though. They got to know what they're saying, right? Wrong. Because they changed their tune. Their claims are different now. They're not staked. They're not even saying staking is cool. In fact, they're saying staking is foul. They don't appreciate that in staking, you DCA every day regardless. They don't care about that. You see, because their objective is to just leech from the system and just take. It's evident. It's one thing to believe it. It's another thing to say it. It's another thing to see it. I can make the statement. It's evident. Evident. Evidentiary. Meaning the evidence is in your fucking face. If you don't want to see it, that's your problem. Because I sure as hell threw it out there for you. Good luck connecting the dots, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't hard to tell. Shout out to all the homies. I know what I'm trying to sell. Anyways, moving on. Back to the comment. Cause it's so dumb. I never even got through it. Like, I never even got through the comment. It's so stupid. So homie goes, he's big mad because everyone didn't stake 4-5, 4x5, the max duration. What the fuck? Staking 5x5 has risk involved too, which he's actually factually correct. Yes, there is risk involved in being staked for the duration. Of course. Don't be fucking moronic. That's obvious. Moving on, he needs to go touch some grass or possibly some vajayjay if possible. Not sure how he connects those two, but good for him. Why get mad when people don't buy into your narrative and worldview? Let people do them and you do you. Again, dude wasn't mad. Dude was making the claim that homeboys said they was going to do X and they did Y. And his voice was elevated when he made that claim. That's what happened. So it's interesting that people view that as being mad because his face was fucking pretty monotone, in fact. And, when I saw it the first time, that's not how I viewed it at all. I don't know if it's because I'm watching it with y'all and really like paying attention or what, but completely different. I had a completely different perception from the first time. And the first time, I really wasn't wrong with my general comment, but wow, like dude really held it together. Because I don't know if I would have held it together like that, straight up. Because they were essentially trying to attack him for calling them out for lying. Now, I don't know why you would go out of your way to protect liars, but that says a lot about you and your character. Yeah, in case you didn't notice. So moving on. Let's see. Some loser here writes, someone give him a tissue. Funny. The only people crying are y'all, because y'all come into my tweet to voice your counter opinion, not even to support my opinion. So it's interesting that they have all this negative commentary to make, but I just posted one simple comment that was maybe 60 characters. I mean, this tweet had, let's see how many replies, 68 replies in less than 24 hours. Because nobody's been writing to that shit today. That was yesterday. So that's something to think about. 68 replies to a simple tweet with a video, right? And everybody is clear on what's happening. So who's really crying here? Who is really crying? Interesting. Let's see. So here's another comment. This is interesting, right? Because this is a person that's not really grabbing on to what's obviously going on here. The 4x5 staking is fine for Hex. We all still have them. Have y'all forgot that RH launched Pulse Chain? The blockchain with thousands of tokens, which it didn't start out that way. I'm failing to understand why it's such a bad thing to be involved in other tokens besides Hex on Pulse Chain. And again, I think the confusion lies in the simple fact that people are not grasping what the problem actually is, because that is not the problem. The problem is that these are not the coins that are being promoted. Hex is not being promoted. Nobody cares about Hex anymore. Nobody cares about Pulse Chain either. Nobody even mentions PulseX. See, I've not talked about PulseX not once to reading these tweets. Not once. The denigrating and attacking always happens to Pulse Chain and Hex in one tweet. Moving on. You do what you want with your own coins. Nobody's supposed to do anything. There is no such thing as a correct trade. He should try minding his own business. Again, missed the point that was being made. Just wanted to think what he wanted to think. Here's another cornball. Bro so mad that people are buying other meme coins at the one he bought and locked up for 15 years. Imagine being that dumb. Yeah. People out here are that dumb. And somebody writes, what is this? Jerry Springer. Apparently, let's see here. Some bitch writes, all I hear is a dude crying like a bitch. Funny. Because again, people went out of their way to come to this tweet to reply to this video and what was going on in it when the dude made an obvious claim. But all he did was raise his voice because other people were raising their voice at him. Interesting. Who is this guy? Very silly man. Who is he to tell people what to do with their money? He suck on my nutsack. So eloquent. So intelligent. Right? Another one that's very quick to not grab on to what's being said and fall off the edge. Let's see. Oh, here's somebody that I've never even seen before that obviously get what's going on. And I'm going to just read it. And dude doesn't even follow me. Let's see. BTC, ETH, Link, Hex, PLS. That's what's in dude's bio. So he clearly doesn't do crypto communities. But I'll read his comment. Those coins exist because of stupid hexagons. Buy them and give them value in the first place. They are not bringing in fresh money into the ecosystem. They are extracting it. I mean, damn. Some nondescript individual with a plain face avatar is probably really him. I mean, not a person I've ever even seen before. Not even passing by in any other comment, any tweeting all the time I've been on Twitter. So, I mean, this guy popped up out of nowhere and he clearly sees what's going on. So the fact that so many people in the shantytown do not is funny to me. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Right. Somebody read that correctly. I'm not going to read the statement. Pretty obviously. Somebody writes, he needs to go back to school due lack of blockchain knowledge. Yeah, maybe you should learn how to write, bro. Let's see. Whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that one. It's the problem with the shanty town. You got people pretending to be a part of the situation, and they're out here pretending. Yeah, they're pretending. They think they're out here being righteous or something, which is what's funny about it, right? How can you be righteous when you're being self-serving? You want others to be self-serving with you, hence you're righteous. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. But you got to realize, that's really not what's happening. So, yeah, I'm gonna need you to stop, right? And meanwhile, all this is happening. All this stuff is happening right now, and weird and interesting things are happening in the world that are gonna cause men to really be men here real shortly. Because even I didn't see this shit coming. How it is happening right now. And I want to start really with a tweet that I sent out. I think it was Friday morning, maybe. And I didn't really think there would be a follow up to the motherfucker. But yo, there's a follow up to the motherfucker. And that, my friends, is not a good thing. So, I gotta find this fucking tweet because it's imperative we discuss it. Um, you know, just prepare for what you're about to listen to because things are getting very, very interesting. And even I, again, was not prepared. So while I knew it was going to be interesting, I didn't think it was going to get interesting like this. Uh, so I'm still looking. Bear with me. Maybe I should just go to my tweets. But typically, it's easier for me to find stuff in notifications. Uh, let's see. Come on. Oh, nope. Um, where is it? Uh, okay, I'm getting close. I mean, it's very troubling. It's very troubling. I mean, this is why I'm still looking for it. Clearly talking to my own little echo chamber here, which is fine. But spread the word, man, because They're going to come smiling with bayonets. And you're not going to know what to do. But I'm letting you know that's what's going to happen. So while everybody's over here circle jerking each other, there's actual real problems actually brewing that are going to impact everybody. And, I don't know. Because, this is going to be like Rona. It's coming from the top down. So, it's, geez, I really am going to have to go to my tweets. I thought I was getting close. But I still haven't gotten to the damn thing. Okay. I gotta go to my profile, go to my tweets, because this was taking too long. Shouldn't take that long. Oh, I should have just went to my media. Anyways, I'm getting there. Here we go. Ha. Found it. All right. So we're going to share this screen again. So this was sent out the 13th, whenever that was, so Friday. And this seems to be from the top down, because what I'm going to show you in a moment should astonish you. It should shock you, in fact. It should shock you. Now, if you're an Israeli reservist, you now get full pay from your employer, in addition to your Israeli Army active duty pay when you get called up. The policy applies for voluntary or compulsory action. And this was Friday, early in the morning when I sent this out. And I wrote, expect all to follow suit. Get in where you fit in, because it's about to get cracking. And I'm afraid to say, oh yeah, it's about to get cracking. I'm going to share another screen with a video, the TikTok video. I haven't seen the whole thing, but, I want to watch it. It's a 2 minute, 33-second video. I need you guys to hear it. So we're going to do a sound check at first. And let's do that real quick.
We got U.S.
Let me know if you guys heard that little bit. To start, this is Congress behind this bald guy. This bald guy is a congressman. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the fuck is this congressman wearing in the halls of U.S. Congress? And in short, he's wearing an Israeli army uniform. And apparently he's some officer, reservist officer in the Israeli army. Let's watch.
We got U.S. politicians doing Israeli soldier cosplay now. Just so you know, that's where we're at with this. If you saw this image, you might think, oh, this is a spokesman for the Israeli Defense Force talking to reporters at some building in maybe Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, right? Like, that's what you would think. No, this is a sitting United States congressman representing the state of fucking Florida, standing in the United States Capitol talking to American reporters with U.S. Capitol Police behind him. This is the halls of Congress, Right here. That is Congress. This man is being paid 175,000 United States dollars a year to represent United States in Congress, and he is wearing an Israeli uniform.
Do we see the problem here? Prescient comments, sir. Thank you very much for injecting, because I was literally about to go there. So, my first thought when I saw this, because I knew immediately, I know who this guy is. I knew immediately what this was because of that email. I understood. I connected the dots instantly. I want you all to understand that the country has been infiltrated by the enemy. The enemy is disguised as Israeli, Hebrew, Jew, whatever you want to call it. That's disguise. That's why you can't say anything about those people. That's negative. You can only kiss their ass. You can never criticize them or critique them. Let's continue.
He is a, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, this dude, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. This is Brian Mast, by the way. He's a congressman from Florida. I'm so fucking confused because the day before this was from yesterday, the day before that, a United States senator was just indicted for acting as an unregistered foreign agent of the nation of Egypt, which is next to Israel, which is one of the three issues we got happening with the Israeli, Gaza, Egypt crisis. Israel and Egypt both border Gaza. We got the Bob Menendez getting money from Egypt. This dude is just cosplaying as Israeli, and I'm sitting here wondering what the fuck we're doing now. I know what you're thinking. Hey, didn't they pass a dress code? That was the Senate. This is Congress. This is the United States House of Representatives. They don't have a speaker. There are no rules in the United States House right now. It's chaos and bedlam up there, and this dude's fucking cosplaying as a soldier. And the thing is he was in the U.S. military. He lost both of his legs in Afghanistan. And in 2015, he went to Israel and he packed medical kits. They gave him a nice shirt and he decided to wear it yesterday. This is his, I went to Israel and all I got was this shirt. And he wore that yesterday to his job representing Florida. So I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck we're doing anymore. I feel like we're all on dust. We're all on dust.
We have to be. We have to be.
Yo, dude's reaction is fucking top notch because that's the reaction everybody should be having. Especially to that fucking video. How you doing, brother?
How you living, man? I'm just sitting here, man. I actually, I've been bullshitting all day, and then I was like, you know what can cure me from bullshitting all day? Listening to a Wells live stream.
My bad. Fucking up the flow and shit.
And then I pull up, and you're going in on this topic, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll click the link. Let's go, champ.
Yeah, man. Yeah, welcome aboard. It's surreal to see it come to this.
Yeah.
You know, my comment is FYI, this is an open, in-your-face takeover by the Nazis in the mask of the everlasting Israeli plight in quotes, which is that everyone hates them, but it's not that. It's what they're about to do that causes the masses to keep a dislike for them, besides the fiat, of course, because that's really the ultimate problem. But
No one, everybody doesn't hate you. They just hate what you're doing.
correct.
And
They take that
they
victim
have to
stance.
confuse that.
Yeah, it's a must, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about.
It's so funny how no one can play the race card except for one group of people.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you can't bring it up, you can't say it openly. You have to be careful. You have
Uh-huh.
to tiptoe about it.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
it's leading us down a path of a totalitarian world.
Uh-huh. 100%. 100 miles an hour.
And
And
yeah.
I believe there's going to be a clash at some point because there is a limit, right? It either stops or there's a clash because there is a limit. And that's hard for people to understand because they intend to do nothing but just let it happen. But it never works out that way. There's always
Right.
resistance. There's always people that are awake to a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent. There's always something that happens. Look at. I mean, if you live in a major city in the United States, or I mean, really anywhere at this point, it's high crime and robbery. You got to be ready to pop off. Period. At all times. And if
Mm-hmm.
you're not, they're gonna fucking take. They're gonna take advantage of you. You best
Right.
believe because they smell it. Because it's
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious. That's how it is in cities nowadays.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And it's funny because they do they do the slow grind.
right.
They look down generations. They'll look, okay, what about the next, 40-year track?
Yeah.
They'll look into, I'm gonna make sure my great grandson is set up with this type of situation so we can continue this legacy.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
And we play into the propaganda. When you look into, I was looking into the propaganda of just some basic things that they were doing with the whole conflict that's going on right now. And it's so funny. Like now, I'm worried about making sure what I say.
Mm.
Even right
Yeah.
now.
Right. Well, they're gonna try to take it that way, and that's when you gotta remember in the workplace, no religion or politics. So there's nothing
Hmm.
to discuss.
Yeah.
It's really simple. And that's really what people need to keep in mind because they are gonna make it like Rona. You better believe. I'm already seeing headlines about people getting fired for not signing Israel oaths or some shit.
Oh
Like what?
wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bro. I call it a mile before it happens. It's too
Yeah.
easy because
Yeah.
their goal is to manufacture consent at every turn.
Hmm.
So it's not like calling their moves is hard. And the problem is that if you're not looking, you're never gonna see it. And if you don't want to see it, well, of course I'm gonna sound like I'm just whatever. But no, it's
Well,
obvious, bro.
that's what they've done a good job at. It's like now the people who see the truth are ridiculous.
Uh huh.
You know.
Yep.
So it reminds me of that movie. We always talk about that movie, They Live. You know,
Mm-hmm.
with Roddy Piper.
100%. Oh, man, drop. He'll be back. But yeah, it's definitely a mass psychosis of sorts, which was where he was going, because the evidence is in our face. That's why I haven't even changed that comment that's on the screen.
Bro, they
Yeah, brother.
kicked me straight out this bitch.
You already know.
Very, very interesting.
You already know.
Very interesting, man.
No, how it goes, bro.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to say what I want to say one more time. If they kick me out, I'll stay off the stream. But
Nah, just say it. Ain't
so
no
I was talking
censorship
about
here.
They Live,
Mm-hmm.
and for the viewers, I don't know how many of the viewers. I know Thoughts Child is on here. I know he's watched They Live, and a few of the other people who are more consciously minded have seen that movie. But it's basically when you watch this movie, They Live. It's an old 1980s
Yeah, 80s flick. Yep.
movie.
Yep.
Yeah, 1980s flick. And basically, there's these sunglasses you put on, and it allows you to see the world for how it really is.
Right.
And when the character Roddy Piper gets the hold of these glasses and he accepts it,
Blows his mind.
he's just like adamant about trying to tell everybody, like, y'all don't see this? And everybody's like, you're crazy. And so now since 2007, since the world went live, that's changed the dynamic of the world in two. It's a dichotomy that's happened in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Either you've gone down this narcissistic social media attention seeking path of getting likes and views, or you've gone down this truth grabbing, wanting to understand what's going on in the earth type of energy, and it's just basically pushed you away from everybody.
Yeah.
And what we notice in the crypto world is that there's a general consensus that there's something broken in the world,
100% agree.
right? And so now we see it. We see these things happen in the earth, and we're like, wait a minute, I'm going to question this before I believe it first.
It's always a smart move. I remember when I first found Hex, it took me a long time to accept it. But
Right? First, yeah,
once,
same for me. Same
yeah,
for me.
but once you get over that hump, where it's like, all right, man, this shit the truth. I gotta just take it for what it is. You gotta
Yeah,
just accept it and be okay with it and then rock. Because if not, you are gonna fall off the edge. There's no doubt about it. And
yeah,
plenty of people are making that choice every day. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the one question that people have is, so what's the solution? What can we do about it? Do you think about that?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that there really isn't much you can do because what are we talking about? We're talking about ignoring sage advice that has been proven timeless, time and time again. This is what we're talking about. So how do you fix people that are choosing to ram into a wall? How do you fix that?
Yeah. Can't keep screaming at them.
No, you can't. That's exactly how I
Right.
started, in fact.
Me too. Yeah.
Don't work.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't matter. People are gonna do what they want to do. And until they choose to learn what's true, only then can they make the right choice. And until
Yeah.
then, you can only hope that they listen. Besides that, not really much you can do for people.
Yeah. And what I see is that one of the things that you have to do is you have to allow that person to get hit by the Mack truck.
For sure.
But the thing about it is you have to record that person getting hit by the truck. And then you have a visual for other people to learn from. But then even if you show a person getting hit by the Mack truck, 80% of the people who have watched this person get hit by this Mack truck and watched you scream at them, 80% of those people are still going to get hit by the next Mack truck.
Yeah, sadly.
So the only thing you can focus on is that 20%.
Mm-hmm. No. Can't save everybody, unfortunately, no.
Right.
And
Right.
it is really that 20/80, ain't it? It really, really is.
Right. And then you have the 20% of the 20%. And that's what I'm learning.
Right. It continues, yeah.
Right. Because the people who get into crypto seriously are the 20%. But they don't really like the 80% of those 20% are not really understanding why crypto is here. And then you got to dig into that 20%, right?
Yep.
Of saying, don't you see that the world is changing in a way that where you're a criminal if you believe that you should do this in like basic life. You're a criminal.
In fact, speaking of that, so we all saw the Uniswap news with their V4 and how they're gonna have a KYC port magically. Isn't it so interesting how so on time they are with institutions being right at the door, ready to come in, and
Yes.
their readily
Yes.
available KYC technology
Yes.
just on
Yes.
time. Wow, how
Yes.
convenient.
Don't y'all see? Don't y'all see that they're trying to take over the DeFi space?
It's comical. And
Don't y'all
and and,
see?
and we got all these the crowd of clowns helping them. It's
Well, and
humorous.
and they're so ready to make money with the beast
Hmm.
versus continue to go down the revolution. See, the people who first got into Bitcoin, that was like the start of a revolutionary mindset towards what's happening financially, and we're gonna go off grid and make money. Those people won, but then they took over Bitcoin. Bitcoin's co-opted. It's done. And Bitcoin started off co-opted. Let's just be real.
To a certain extent,
To a
kind
certain extent. Like the controlling bodies, and everybody
of.
believes that this might have been going on with it. Was it a project that came out of the NSA CIA that
Right.
developed in the public? I don't know. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I've talked about that before, and I think it's important to highlight that technology is a double-edged sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if that is the case, it ultimately does not matter because once you let the cat out the bag is out. You can't put that genie back in that bottle. That's it.
Yeah,
And this is what's happening with the internet. This is what's happening with crypto. So
that's facts. That's facts. That's
you you,
facts.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I hear
ultimately,
you. I hear you
yeah.
100%. I
So
agree.
yeah, so ultimately that's why the educational component is really the most critical component of this revolution because if
Right.
are we going to have Marxism or are we going to really have freedom? And if
Mm-hmm.
and if we're not careful, it's going to be Marxism.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people
Yeah.
don't want to realize because
Yeah.
they find every excuse in the book to satiate their greedy ways instead of doing the right thing and exercising discipline.
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately what it boils down to. It's
Yeah.
not much of anything else.
Well, what they're doing is they're using fake capitalism.
Sure,
But
hundred percent,
it's like capitalism is the mask, but underneath that mask is Marxism,
100%.
and they've just systematically been able to take over institutions and industries and processes of thought and belief to bring everybody to what we have now. You know,
Yep.
so when you see a group like Uniswap, which was supposed to stand on decentralized finance, go down a path of, you know what, let's centralize a little bit. We're going to have a centralized element. And that compromise, you're done. You're done.
Yep.
You're
It's
done.
a wrap. Yep. I mean, look at Uniswap, perfect example,
Yep.
pristine. I mean, all these entities that everybody loves to talk about, they play that role. That's
Yeah.
why they made you love them, and people don't get that. That's why they got these coin ranking lists. That's why they use these places that are no good at these institutions as data references when they're not even valid. I mean, it's all these things that the system opts to do that you already know is wrong, but you are too lazy to just stay away because you know better. And
Right.
that's why so many people get rugged. They don't, they lose here and there and all this. So it's like, the pain you suffer is because you want to suffer it because you can avoid it all
Mm-hmm.
the way.
Straight up.
Uh-huh. So
Straight
easy.
up, man.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's
Bro.
just it's wild, bro. It's wild. And then people want to get accolades and applauds for being fools. Like, I'm sorry. Nah, you're gonna get called a fool. And then we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
show you how you a fool.
Mm-hmm.
Real simple. So
But there seems like there's going to be a conflict that's unavoidable between sovereign mindsets,
hmm
people who want to can have somewhat control over their lives, and the people who just want to be safe and just want everything to be taken care of.
hmm
There's a conflict happening, and it
always.
seems unavoidable.
hmm I think we're entering a point in time when the choice is so obvious to be self-reliant and self-sufficient that it's natural for people to fight it, but it's also unnatural for people to want to choose it. So we end up seeing this, what you're talking about right here.
Interesting. Very interesting because one of the things that I was thinking about what you said in the last stream that we had did together. You was like, and basically it was like you were basically expressing like I'm excited for shit to just break loose. Like it
Yeah.
excites me. Like I actually think that's the better solution. Let's just get this over with.
Yeah.
Kind of like that was kind of like what I felt from what you were saying. Like we're coming into an inevitable conflict. Well, let's just do it.
Right. I mean, I
Let's just
think, and,
get.
and I think that's the thing. I think we're getting to that point, right? I mean, when people are, I mean, we're, let's talk about this little policy where now Israeli reservists get compensated not only by the Israeli army but also by their employer. You know, when Iraq happened and Afghanistan and guys were getting called up left and right and losing their jobs, you know, they were losing their jobs. They were not getting comped. Period. And we're talking about this shit happened for 20 fucking years.
Woo! Facts.
So this simple act of people now getting comped because, oh, Israel, oh, that's a fucking slap in the face to every single one, every single combat veteran that's ever fought for this country. Because if you think I'm just talking about Iraq, you're dead wrong. That's just the most recent example, Iraq and Afghanistan. 20-year wars for what? All those lives lost for what?
I work on these veterans. Like, I'm one of the only doctors in my state that accept their insurance. Like, what I do now is I'll go to a random place in my state, in Texas, and because I'm the only one that takes a veteran's insurance, I'm flooded with patients, right? They treat the veterans like they did something wrong. Here,
Yeah. Yep.
like, you're an idiot. You shouldn't have done that.
Like, yeah, like there's an instruction book on how to live when you gotta before you go to see fucking meds or whatever.
Yeah. And then you have to pretend like you're out of your mind just to get basic benefits.
Yeah, actually that's true, yeah.
Very, very, very interesting. I don't know, like, I don't get it. I don't get how you have a defense budget like this and how you treat your veterans like this. Do you understand why? Like, is there a thought or a theory that you have about that? Like, what's up with that?
It's simple, fraud, waste, and abuse that can be got away with. So it's all politics, right? Because what happens is that you got all these people that are veterans in the VA that control the show, right? Because that's how they get the jobs in the first place in most cases. Because we're talking about the Department of Veteran Affairs, right? So that's what oversees the healthcare system. Yeah. So how is it that this institution over and over and over spits on the people it claims to be there to represent? And only so recently got exposed that they're not doing that, and that's the only reason that any kind of change has happened. Even though people like me, which I'm nothing special, just another fucking vet, have been making this claim for decades. You know, this is stuff that's been obvious since World War One. So a century, in fact, because it's 1923. What the fuck? So 105 years in, and people still acting like this shit brand new.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
Well,
right?
yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. And the only thing I look to now is, you look for something to where you can get your piece of the pie in this system when you see a corrupt system. And that's what crypto is, decentralized finance, DeFi, right? And when you start looking into it, you get excited about an opportunity to actually create a financial market that you get to benefit from, right? Because really, network effect is what we all want to benefit from.
Correct.
You don't get any true network effect in the legacy markets, right? So let's say you get some.
It takes much longer than it does in crypto.
Right. And in crypto, because it's such a young market, you benefit from network effect immediately. Like,
right.
It's unreal. I've never seen it before. To where 100,000 people coming together on a project, you literally can retire, change your life.
Yep. Literally. Easily.
Happens all the time.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
Big homie.
Chill, man. What's up, y'all?
How you living, man?
Oh, enjoying the day, my friends. Enjoying the day.
That's
had to hop in.
Bro. That's what's up, man. Glad you joined us, bro.
Yeah, man. Had to hop in here for a little bit. Was listening in the background. Y'all spitting fire as always, man. I was like, you know what? Just got home. Had to handle some chores, but hopped in with y'all.
Good
Yeah,
luck, bro. Yeah. It's been a good one, bro, because I had to expose
yeah.
the frauds. It's kind of
Yo,
interesting.
I just heard something that I didn't even know of, which was you was saying people in the military now getting paid for the bullshit war happening that they ain't even got to be a part of.
Yep.
What?
And not only are they getting paid by the Israeli army, but their employer here in the U.S. is going to compensate them fully as if they're still working. They're
Absolutely
they're not going
insane.
to lose their job.
My God.
Use a Marine. That's not a thing.
That's wild, man. That's
Yep.
absolutely wild.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn, that's devolving real fast there, but shit.
Yep. Yep. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting because is it really a situation where we're talking about what is this, 2 miles supposedly of land? A
Right.
2 mile strip? Do you really need to call up a military force for that? I'ma say nah. But they ready to pay niggas though. Fully. While they deploy to occupy 2 miles of land. Isn't it interesting?
Wow.
Of people that are defenseless, have nothing, and are controlled by the people outside of that 2 miles of land. Huh. Interesting math, if I might say so myself.
I have something. I was thinking about this, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't take no sides. I'm just watching the information. You know what I'm saying? But why? How is it called a war? Like, isn't a war between two like established
Nations?
nations?
Yeah, that's
They
right.
also
It's
get
just,
away with not calling it a war.
That's true.
you
That's
They
how they
do.
know,
get
They do
around.
both. That's the thing.
yeah. And so I'm just like,
So,
Hamas is
so
not.
how has that happened? Is that what you want to know?
Yeah, because this I want to say this. My thought is like it's like the Crips in California going crazy, and then the National Guard gets called up to stop it,
Mm-hmm.
and they calling it a war.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, that's not a like a. It's just a group of crazy motherfuckers, and we need to get them under control.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
And that's literally what the National Guard is for. They're not for war. They're for that
Right.
specifically. Yeah. Literally. Like that's why that happened. Because that's literally what they're for. They're a peacekeeping force on the domestic side of things. They're not really supposed to be a war fighting element. In fact, they're really not. And if they got to get called up, as you've seen, they get called up. But that's not really what's supposed to happen. So yeah,
You think we go back to a stop loss day?
nah,
Cool. Didn't
nah. I
think so
mean,
either.
it's got to be some wild. First of all,
I mean,
how they gonna make everybody comply? It ain't the '60s. It's too many people now.
they were doing the stop loss back in 2010. You know what I mean? Like not that long ago. In all
Oh,
reality.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of draft, brother.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Like you.
I got hit.
Like
I got hit by that stop loss too. I stayed in 6 months longer than I was supposed to. That was
yeah.
happening before 2010.
Several motherfuckers came back whenever I was deployed who had been out like 2.5 years, got called back in as well. Not only stop
Yeah.
loss, but
All
also
that was
called back in
happening.
as well.
Yeah. So
I was like,
that's the
that's some
reason.
garbage, bro. So I was just wondering, like, do we see that again coming with this bullshit?
Well, nah, not right now. Maybe if it takes long enough, because they got to be able to justify that. That's how they were able to do that in the first place with our generation.
It's the best way to
Because,
print money, though, is it not?
but that's the thing. They got to be able to justify that act first. Because what happened? People think 1971 happened in 1971, but no, it actually happened in 1964. Or actually, it happened the day that JFK got shot.
Right.
Right? All that led up to 1971. It wasn't really 1971. So, that is what people have to learn about analysis and how things ultimately end up happening or could end up happening. Right? It's like one thing leads to the next, which allows the next thing, then the next, and the next, and so on and so forth. So, for now, what we do know is that they're willing to compensate people that claim to be American but are not. They're really Israelis disguised as Americans, which are really Nazis in disguise. because that's what the evidence has shown us to date. These people have been pretending to be a part of America and stand for America and all this and all that. But the evidence is to the contrary, because when you look outside, what you see is not that. You see a lot of people living in squalor, a lot of people living on drugs, a lot of people falling into drugs, and nobody giving a rat's ass about doing anything but allowing people to be on drugs openly. Like, that's what's happening. That's really what's occurring. And there is no discussion about not so much reining in the use, but making it understood that it's not something that it should be discussed. If people do, if it's this forbidden thing, then people are going to think it's something to try, and it's not the case. How did people get scared of crack? Because they fucking knew what the fuck that shit was. It wasn't a secret. How did we not touch it? Because we knew. Yeah,
Right.
that's a fact.
Yeah, you saw people fucked up,
That's right.
and you
Correct.
saw it's just like, I ain't doing that.
Exactly.
You were near enough to it.
Exactly.
Right. We saw that shit. I know I did.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. So
Yeah,
now
I had niggas who had friends with all of it, man.
yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, I
Crazy.
have friends that was selling crack, bro, growing up, and that's the
Same.
thing. We saw it. And
Right.
and that's the point, right? We all saw it. So
Right.
now we're entering that stage again where little kids are seeing it.
Right.
And they're gonna start asking, yo, what's up with that? Why does nobody care? Because I know I was asking.
Right.
And here we are again in the same situation where all these cities, no matter where you turn, the proliferation is not of economic growth. It is of homelessness, growth of homelessness, and the proliferation and the growth of drug use.
Yeah, because you had Jerome Powell. He'll say one thing, but then on the back end, it's like, no, you actually want more unemployment. You actually need it to drive down inflation.
Well,
Dude,
to
those
justify
reports are
that,
so jacked, man.
just just to
I don't
justify the
believe a
action, though, is
goddamn.
what I was gonna say. My bad, brother. Go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
yeah. I was just I don't believe those reports at all, man. Maybe they can just adjust it to whatever they want to make their story narrative work out, right? I mean, it's always what they've been doing. I just want to answer Denise's question real quick. She was just asking what stop loss is, and I think a few other people who may not have been in the military or anything
True, we didn't explain it.
understand
My bad.
exactly what it is. So, stop loss is just a simple involuntary extension of a service member's contract or active duty or whatever it is. So, say you signed up for a 4-year active, 4-year inactive duty, and your 4 years is coming up, but you're deployed or your unit's deploying, they can automatically keep you in for that deployment. Just done. They can just make it happen. So that's stop loss, and that's what happened a lot back in 2000, 2001 all the way up to like 2011. I don't even know.
Yeah,
when
it
the last time they
happened
did it
for a
was.
long time. It happened for a very long time. I mean, I
Yeah,
knew guys that went from Iraq to Afghanistan and vice versa.
correct.
Like, no break. It was
Correct.
insane. It was an insane time for all of us that were involved in those operations. And, unfortunately, a lot of us didn't get the help. The help wasn't there. It wasn't seeking us when it should have been. And it is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah, some of us took care of ourselves, and some of us are still suffering the consequences.
Yeah, that's what just going back on the whole premise of, letting that actually affect you or have it affect you in some way, shape, or form. Part of living is suffering. Like,
Yep.
to break it down, man. Like, and that's what a lot of people have a hard time just accepting that fact. That part of life is to suffer. Like, we have a very short time here on this place of realm of whatever we're in, and it's gonna come with all sorts of emotions during the entire time. It's a journey, man. It's an experience. And so part of those experiences are suffering and pain and loss. That's why, like, whenever you have I recently lost my dog, man, best friend type deal.
Sorry to hear that, man.
And yeah, bro, it's so bad. But we get into it, and I know Waters Above was saying the same thing, but we get into it knowing ahead of time that that the animals have a shorter lifespan than us. A lot of times, right? It's the same concept as like you should live longer than or you should die before your kids, that kind of concept, right? That's how we get into it. So we know whenever we get them or the pet or they come into our lives, they're going to leave before we end up, passing on.
For
That's
sure.
just part of what it is. So it's just part of the experience as well. So that's been, again, dude, he got me through some shit, man. So I helped it, and we'll meet in the future on the Rainbow Bridge and all that good shit. But crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, life, it's the weird thing about life. For me personally, death has been a commonality, a common thread. I experienced it early through family members passing, and I ended up learning about it young. And it's not anything that ever feels good. You never get comfortable with it,
Correct.
but it's something that or you end up learning is just what comes with being alive.
Correct. Oh
You
yeah,
know,
dude. Lost my niece when she was 3 months old, bro. Crazy.
oof, God
Crazy.
dang.
Yeah, imagine my sister, bro. Like
Yeah,
that kind of stuff is wild, man. That kind of stuff is
yeah,
absolutely wild. Pain. That's
yeah,
like a pain that until you experience it, it's so rough. Or it's so almost surreal.
yeah. It's indescribable in my eyes. That's the word I
Yeah.
would use. Yeah,
Yeah. So I
that's
mean, but yeah, I grew up same thing, man. You see death young, it's tough, but I think it also helps you accept the fact that you also realize that we're fragile beings in general
you gotta live.
and that you have to live and that you have to make the most. And that's part of what those experiences can allow you to learn. Because I mean, shit, dude, it's like kids getting cancer whenever you're young. That sucks, man. It just absolutely sucks. Like Pat
Yep.
lost a friend to leukemia. He was 7 years old, type deal. You know
Oh
what I mean?
wow, wow.
And
That's
so,
crazy.
like, yeah, but it's again part of it all, man. It's one of those not to be like we all have our losses, man. Trust me. Like I
For
know you
sure.
got yours. Disciple got his. We're just
Yeah,
sharing
but
a few of
everybody's gonna react the same, and that's the
yeah,
thing because
yeah,
it's different circumstances, and you couldn't put yourself in that person's shoes, right? Like,
yeah.
and I think that being able to appreciate that is what gives people the ability to put themselves in other people's shoes and try to find that common ground, right? Because it's like, damn, like we both been through the ringer,
Yep, yep,
and if you've been anywhere and you've been through some shit, you understand that that is what makes bonds grow, right? Is
Yeah,
going through some shit with people. So
I would say, just to add on to what you both are saying, is we live in we're all experiencing something bigger than us. Even
right,
in mathematics, we look at the ultimate idea of mathematics is the idea of infinity, which
mm,
is something that it's not that you understand it, it's that you accept it because you know it's there.
correct.
You
right.
can try to understand infinity,
Well, think
but
about
when
it
you
like this. Think about it
you
like this.
know
This is the way I like to put it. This is the way, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but just bear with me. We're talking about stretching out forever. What's
hmm
the opposite of that? What's the opposite of that? Nothing,
Right. That
right?
is actually the opposite.
Hmm.
That's hilarious,
right.
bro. I'm like contraction.
No,
Like over here, just like giving it like deeper thought. You're like nothing. I'm like, oh
well,
shit.
what it
That is the
but
exact
then
opposite of infinite.
it and the same type of when you think about nothingness and when you think about infinity, it brings you to that same kind of
Exactly. Brings it
uncomfortableness
full
in your
circle.
mind,
But you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? When you would just said that shit right there, to me, it brought it back full circle,
right?
right? Because
So
it's
what
like
happens when
infinity.
someone
How is
dies and
infinity not
you
nothing?
know,
How is infinity not nothing?
right?
That's my question.
Right. Well, the difference in it is the fact that there's substance in between, and what really is the problem is us trying to understand it and
Right.
versus just accept it. So
That's what I think it is too.
certain things in your life, when you reach a point of nothingness or infinity, it's not about understanding it. It's about accepting it. And that's where you go from the point of crazy, where you're just fucking going crazy because you want to understand why, what,
Yeah.
to accepting it because there's a part of us in this realm to where you don't get to understand it. you know, and it feels unfair. And it feels like, but you don't like fairness might be in a place to you can't reach it yet. You haven't
Yeah.
reached it. You don't know, you know, to you it's not fair, but that's just from your little minuscule ant perspective
Yeah. Of
within
world.
nothingness and infinity,
The
you
vast,
know?
the vastness of life, which encompasses nothing and everything.
Right. And so there when you try to if you focus on trying to understand that all the time, you will drive yourself crazy
Indeed. Yeah, I remember.
versus just accepting it.
You know what's funny?
Well, yeah, yeah, for sure.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Man.
Well, I was just gonna say to go back and just like you said, it's almost the I like to use the same concept as when you lose something, you can't truly find, you know, you don't really know that you can't really find it, and then you look for
There.
it, you finally fucking just give up, and you just like just accept it, you know what I mean? Like you said, just like sacrifice it and just kind of like open up to the concept that it's gone,
Like when you
or
lose a
that there's
wallet.
nothing there, and then magically it just appears right in front of you, and you're like, wow. But you can't
Right.
like just it has to like truly happen organically, where you just like let it go. And I think that's kind of the same concept that Disciples saying, where it's just like you have to just kind of let it go, let the flow go with the flow type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of I was doing a study on string theory, quantum string
Mm,
theory. I was listening to James Gates Jr. You know,
mm.
there's a brother. He's all into like quantum physics and string theory, and you know we watch Spider Man or I guess when we want to talk about string theory, the best conceptualization would probably be the Flash
Yeah.
because he's able to jump timelines.
Yeah.
You know,
He's just 1 second he's here, the next second he's over
yeah.
there.
So he's able to jump timelines, and according to how he jumps and what he does on that line, it can affect another string of consciousness or reality, right?
Hmm.
And we struggle with the fact of knowing or understanding or feeling that that's happening in our very own lives. Like, if I made this choice today, what would have happened versus that choice, you know?
Yeah.
And we're all riding these different strings of possibilities that are happening in front of us, you know?
Yeah, the choice to destiny type proverb, you know.
Right, right. And that's where people struggle with the idea of God is like, would God allow that? Like, I don't know. Like, you know, like, does he give a fuck? I don't think he does, you know?
Right.
You
It's hard to
know?
tell. That's for sure.
Like, yeah, maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, maybe not in the way that we feel about it. You know, we get all hurt about some shit, and God is like, you're a bitch, you know? And I don't know. So well, I don't know. Who knows? So we're all struggling with that, and everything y'all talking about makes me think about the crypto world and why I'm here and how I got here and how I'm even on the stream right now with Wells and ATX. You know, very very interesting thoughts and ideas. You know.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, it again goes to everything and nothing, right?
Right.
Right.
Everything in
Yep.
it's bugged out.
Yeah.
It's bugged out, man.
Facts, man. Well, it's you know, to go back on the living life to the fullest and precious and all that, like knowing that, using the wisdom of knowing each moment is precious. Again, like vow to yourself, vow to live, not just exist, right? And that's every day. We talk about waking up from this matrix or NPC, or you know, moving along and just going with the flow. And you see it happen. Zombies, I think. Don't Wells calls it zombies for sure. So it's just that's
PCs.
what's NPC. That's what's happening all around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like because while we may not be guaranteed tomorrow, like today is ours to cherish, y'all. To love, truly live, to experience all of it, and just enjoy the moment. Because dude, I 1 second you're here, next you're not, guys. That's how quick it goes. Like at the end of the day, no matter how long it is, 1 second you're here, the next moment you're not. Right?
That's a fact.
And again, it goes back to that everything and nothing type deal. I don't know how long you're gonna get to live during that time frame, but one moment you're here, next moment you're not. So again, like you're not going to the ground with all this crazy shit. So like have fun living life, guys. Don't let all this stress get to you.
Yeah, focus on what's important. I think that's really the thing that people just don't do the most. They focus on minutia instead of focusing on what should matter the most to them.
Mm-hmm.
Not what matters the most, but just what should matter the most to them. Because everybody's progress or path forward is not the same. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's really what it boils down to. But I think 2 hours is good. I think this is a good place to wrap it. What do you got? You guys got anything else you want to say? I'm not in a rush to get off. But
I want two things.
yeah,
I want to go
knock
back to
yourself
the
out,
question whenever you asked sativa or indica. I'm actually just curious on
Oh
that.
yes, I'm definitely a sativa person myself.
Okay. Yep. Okay. In Wales. He says, "What's your favorite smoke?" NYC Diesel.
Sour diesel is
No.
my favorite. Yeah, and that one is sativa. So
Cool.
yeah,
Because I just
All right.
feel like I can talk, I can function.
yeah,
I'm hyper, I'm active. I'm like,
yeah.
what do you want to talk
Well,
about?
I just think everything's hybrid nowadays, man. I'm such a person who's just like, bro, everything's just mixed now, man. Like everyone's mixed now, bro. Who knows?
Yeah.
True, they
It's
got the
all mixed.
hybrids. Yeah.
You got fucking sativa and indica and everything you smoke, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, the hybrids, some hybrids be lit too, and that's the thing. You can't really be
Yeah.
too picky nowadays. Some shit be
I,
better
I
than you
think
expect.
it just depends on what I'm about to do. I can't be in that dream state, like
I don't
that
ever
dream
really,
state,
I don't ever
dreamy,
really
like
get in that
tired.
state. That's the thing.
Really, man. Some of
Yeah.
them blends, some of this, like I don't smoke, but I'll do a little.
Yeah, that's why my tolerance is, it's up there.
Yeah, I don't have no tolerance. I'll do a little bit of an edible, but
Yeah, that's all it is. That's why.
I can't do too much. I can just do a
You
little
do a week,
nibble.
you good, bro.
and
That's
I'm
all it takes.
good.
It doesn't take that long. It's like riding a bike. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing is, man, I just want to say much love to all y'all, man. Congrats on another day being here. Just keep on keeping on. You know what I mean? Like one foot in front of the other, and we're gonna make it to the end, bro.
Yo, if you're young,
man.
have a long-term perspective.
Oh,
Always
my
play the long
goodness.
game.
Yeah.
Please don't.
I mean, did
cheese
y'all
it.
want to address the chat or things that's in the chat?
We can. I don't know if there's anything in the chat to address. I usually never look at the chat. I just kind of ramble and then cut it because it's like if I start addressing the chat, that shit gonna turn into an 8 hour
Oh
stream,
yeah,
bro.
because I see everybody, especially when we talk about this type of stuff, everybody's
Yeah,
Well, then you end
somebody's
up
talking
getting
about-
into like a 20-minute conversation per comment.
Yeah.
yeah, and that's the thing, and it's not to ignore everybody in the chat. It's just
Yeah.
because we don't have all day, even though we wish we could talk about it all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is important stuff. This is not
Yeah.
a joke.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, guys, too often we get caught in this whole whirlwind of plans, waiting for the right moment. And I want to stress to everyone, like, if you're looking to get in at any point in time on your investments, the market's looking pretty juicy across the board on basically everything for the most part right now. Within the next year, things are going to be looking really, really freaking crazy good for a whole lot of stuff, right? So, again, don't just wait for this whole difference of 10% or 7%. Like in the grand scheme of things, that don't matter, y'all. So just want to remind everyone.
That's it, man.
Just get your ass in there.
Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize.
Mhm.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having us on, Wales Disciple. Appreciate the conversation as always, guys.
No, man. Appreciate
Chat,
you,
much
brothers,
love to
man.
y'all.
My pleasure. Yeah, chat. Appreciate y'all as always. It's always real. Y'all keep it easy. Homie, stick around. Peace.
No doubt.
Peace.
Right? The reality is that I want to be rich as fuck. There's only one way to be rich as fuck. That's by sitting on your ass the longest. That's it. That's the secret. The God will told you. Richard done told you. I done told you. Kareem done told you. Maddie done told you. Everybody done told you. Everybody done told you. Shit, motherfuckers still acting like they don't know. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Trust
that.
us. 100% safe. There's plenty of games left.
Valiant done told you. Yo, everybody said it. I mean, hey, you know what it is, man? Everybody done told you. Y'all deep, everybody.